So tonight I'm going to be testing out a new backpack, and this is made of Ultra 200X and TNT material. Now I've been looking at the Durston for some time, which is essentially the same material, but this is from a different company. I'm going to go over the specs, tell you all what you get with it and all the details and weights. I'm not going to tell you who makes it, and I need you to promise me that you won't look in the description below to see and have a guess when I've gone through that information who you think makes this bag and how much it costs before I tell you where it's from. Now before I get onto the bag spec, I'm out in the Durston X Dome 1 Plus tonight, and I've got a little bit of a hack that I'm trying on it to see if it works. I've tried it in the garden, but it wasn't fully pegged out, so I'm going to see if that works tonight, and I'll show you later on. I've also got two other little things that I'm going to be testing out tonight as well, so stay tuned and keep watching for that. So this isn't going to be a review on this bag. This is going to be an initial findings, my thoughts, what I think of it. What I've done in previous videos, I've done the same thing. I've shown the bag, gone over the specs and the options on it, and then I've used it for a good year or more, 2 years. And then given a full long-term review. So this isn't a review, this is an overview of this new pack that has come out, which I think is a good budget bargain, budget-ish, but a great pack, and using some really high quality materials. So I'm going to be testing this going forward for probably the next 10 to 12 months, and I'll give it a good long-term test. So those of you who want to buy it, you can just jump in and buy it, and if you want to hang on and see how it fares, then I'm afraid you'll have to wait probably a year. But if you do want to buy it, I have a 10% discount code on this as well. So this makes what I think is an affordable bag even better. This weighs 960 grams. It is a framed bag, it's not frameless. And it has an hollow aluminium tube that runs around in a complete sort of square rectangle across the back, which is curved to the shape to give you space and airflow for a gap between you and the pack. It also has a carbon fibre strip that goes across the rear here for additional support for things that are inside, so something's not going to jut out and poke you in the back as well, which is a really nice little touch. The shoulder straps are fully adjustable. There's 3 different spots where you can put it on. There are 2 sizes for this as well, so you can get, I think it's a small and a large, or a medium and a large, but you can basically choose 2 sizes. Obviously I got the large, but it means you can really sort of tailor this bag to fit you properly. So not only can you choose the size of the bag for the torso length, but you can also adjust the shoulder strap height as well. You also get load lifters on the back, and then your usual straps going down to the bottom. The mesh section on the back panel is removable. You can take this off if you don't want it, and you can just have string or nothing, but it also means you can tighten it up and make it more taut to give you more tension between you and the backpack. And another thing that's quite good, the curve that is on this pack that you can see here, you can actually increase or decrease that. So all you need to do is you push down on the back to bend it in, and then tighten up these line locks at the bottom, and it will actually curve the bag out further away from your back if you want to. So it's really adjustable, and you can sort of fine tune it to your body and your shape. And it's got lots of little great features which I think are really good on it. The hip belt is very thick and padded. It's really nice. The shoulder straps not as much, but they felt comfortable on the hike up here. The shoulder straps do have 2 expandable pockets in there, and I have my Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra in there, so there's plenty of space to fit a phone, and they're supposed to fit a 500ml bottle of water. This is an 850ml bottle, so I think they've undersold themselves a little bit there, and it fits absolutely fine. The sternum strap is height adjustable, and it slides nicely up and down, so you can adjust that to a nice position for you, and it also has a little whistle. So the head belts, you've got 2 really big pockets. It will fit a large phone inside there. I'm not keen on putting phones in there. Everyone seems obsessed with, will it fit a phone? The head belt's going to curve around you, and phones generally don't tend to curve. So I don't know why you'd want to do that. But there's plenty of space, and it gives you an option, and you know roughly what sort of size there are, but I've got tons of bits and pieces in the side pockets. The head belts also have a double strap, and it's a really nice way of pulling it in and getting it tight, and you can also adjust the top and the bottom individually. So if you don't want to just pull one strap, you can actually tighten the bottom section of it or the top section. So again, fine tuning it and making it more adjustable. The hip belt will Velcro completely off. So this will take 15 kilos as a max load, but obviously if you're going ultra light and you've got 5-6 kilos in there, You could remove that hip belt and just have the shoulder straps because you don't really need it. And again, you can just tailor it to make it more suitable for what you're doing. Winter use, you've got it fully loaded up with 10, 12, 13 kilos. Summer use, 5, 6 kilos in there, take the hip belt off, you've got a phenomenally light and comfortable bag. The whole thing only weighs 960 grams. I don't know what it is without the hip belt. Side pockets are really spacious. There is a toggle to tighten and loosen, so you can fit plenty of gear in there. You can see my hand completely disappears. I've got a 1.5 litre bottle and a massive pile of pegs in the other pocket, and my pole's in here, but I have my tripod down here as well. So tons of space, and you've got cords on the side, which is Dyneema, and you can tighten that up, and then you can tighten these down as well, and you can also use that to adjust the pack, and obviously tighten that in to keep the stuff inside it nice and secure. On the front, I'm going to have to use a little bit of skill on keeping this badge out of the way, so you don't know what it is. But basically you've got a large kangaroo pocket. Now the entire size of this pack is 45 litres. They say it is 38 inside, and the other 7 litres is the pouch, the side pockets and the hip belt pockets. My Pure Raven Freeluft 45, I get everything in there just, and I love that pack. But it's a 45 litre pack, again total. This thing, I filled it and I seem to have a ton of space inside. So I think they've underestimated their size. I've got it rolled down several times, so obviously you can expand it up and put a load more in there. But it seems more than capable and more than what they really sort of say it is for a litre in the size of bag. But yeah, this has got tons of space. It's not the stretch material. And the reason behind that is this material is actually stronger and more abrasive resistant, so you're less likely for this to get damaged. So rather than the material stretching, you've got a bungee cord that goes across it, and you can tighten and loosen that bungee cord with this toggle here, and you can also tighten from the top here to make sure that nothing comes out and it's all secure. Down the bottom here you've got one loop, which is an ice axe holder. I don't know where you put the top though, maybe tuck it in to there, seems a bit weird. And there's 2 little loops down here, which I'm not too sure what are for, but you could probably just run some extra bungee cord through there, maybe run it underneath to tie some stuff onto the bottom of the bag. So going onto the top of the bag, you've got a V-shaped tag on one side of it, and this extends, as you can see, to there. So realistically, you could load this up that much further, or you could strap a tent onto the top, or your spare jacket, or what have you. But it just means that it allows you to put a load more gear inside it and still keep it nice and secure. Top is a roll closure, as I said before. The thing with this material, it's quite weird. It's probably because it's very new, it's incredibly crinkly. I'm sure that will soften with age. Nice little touch, the top has a Velcro opening, so the whole thing sticks together with Velcro. And inside it, they say this is pretty much a waterproof bag. There isn't, I don't believe, any bags that are fully waterproof. And that's why we have either pack covers or pack liners, and I will come on to a pack liner that I've got with this in a minute. But this is a really, really shiny waterproof material, and that is the 200X material, bonded and laminated with the UHMWPE as well, and all the seams, I say, are TNT taped seams as well. So there is a ton of space in here, even with all my gear in it. There's nothing inside, it's just an open bag. That is it. So did you guess who makes this bag? Hopefully I didn't show too much of it and gave it away in the video. But basically this is made by 3FUL. It's called the Tianshan Ultra. They've done a Tianshan for a little while, which is made out of the UHMWPE material, but this is the one, and the first one that's come out with the Ultra 200X material. So as I said before, this is the same material that the Durston Kakwa is made from. And it's proven and renowned, so it's very hard wearing, it's very abrasion resistant, it's very strong, incredibly strong, particularly when combined with the UHMWPE, which pound for pound has more strength than steel. So I think this is a great design and a good branch out for some sort of more higher end quality gear from 3FUL. And you're seeing this a lot in Chinese manufacturers, so they don't just make cheap Chinese stuff, as people call it. You know, it's affordable and it's still decent, but they're now sort of pushing out using higher quality materials and producing better designed products. So, cost. If you go onto AliExpress, this will cost you, I think, about £230. And I think that's a lot of money for this. But from the 3FUL website, It's in English, when you convert it from dollars to pounds, about £148 with free shipping. But then I have a 10% code, so you can use that on anything you buy from 3FUR website. So you're going to get another 15 quid off of that. So £135. The Kakwa 40, I think it is about 200. Then you're going to pay import fees, tax duties on top of that as well. But I think if you compare this to other bags out there with the materials, you're looking at sort of £250 plus. So it's a big, big saving on it. And I think it's a really good bag. So I'm going to continue using this going forward. I'll give you a long-term test review when I can. I'm going to get my gear out now and I'll show you what I've done with the tent. Right, so because I swapped my bag over, I forgot to bring out my extra guidelines to put on here. But I must say, Dan has done a phenomenal job with this new fly now, changing it. It's pretty windy. You can probably see my shadow. I'm blowing about in the wind. Forecast tonight is about 20 mile an hour, or currently, and it's supposed to die down later on. I don't think it's 20 now, it's probably 10 to 15. But it's so much more solid with these two guy out points now. But I'm going to show you what I've done inside. So I've seen a lot of people complain that the Durston footprint is too expensive, and I think it's about £36. I don't think that's expensive, but I and a lot of other people feel that a footprint should cover the whole of the underside of the tent, including the vestibule, so that way you've got somewhere dry to put your gear. If the ground's wet, you can put your bag out there, it's not going to get soaked, or at least have the option to go either or. So for example, there are some companies out there that specifically make footprints for certain tents that go into the vestibule, because those manufacturers don't offer them. Now, I reached out to someone, I'm not going to say any names. They make a footprint to fit the Durston X Dome, and it goes into the vestibule, made in England. So I connected with them and said, look, I've got a channel, I've got an X Dome. A lot of people ask about a full-size footprint. So, you know, do you want to work together? I'll promote it, put it on my channel, and show it, and you'll probably get loads more orders out of it. And I don't expect to get things for free. But what I said was, can you do me a deal on the footprint? Because I knew how much it was. So I just said, can you do me a deal on it? Because I thought, I'll buy it if it's not ridiculously expensive. And then, you know, they can sell it from my video and make money out of it. And I won't make anything out of it, I'll just get a cheaper footprint. They wanted £70 for it. Yeah, £70 for a bit of cloth that's going to go underneath here. It's going to get trampled on, covered in sheep shit. No thank you. And then the argument was, oh yeah, but it's made out of Kurlon, same as Hilleberg use. Hilleberg don't use Kurlon on their footprints, they use sil nylon. So if Hilleberg don't use Kurlon, they use it on their tent material, why the hell would you want to make or buy a footprint made of Kurlon and spend £70 on it? One of my viewers, Simon, otherwise known as Frambo, we message occasionally, and he said that he'd bought a footprint for his X Dome 2, so he's bought the 2-person version. And I was like, that looks pretty good. So he sent me the link, it was on Amazon, and I think I paid £12 for it, £13 for it. I've attached it to the tent. You might be able to see, it sticks out a tiny bit, but I haven't got it properly done, to be honest. But it's really, really good for the money. I do need to make some adjustments on the, I've only used bungee cord to attach it, and I've only done it roughly. I did it yesterday, literally with the tent upside down, whacked it on, it only turned up yesterday. So a little bit of adjustment, and I think it's going to be perfect. I'll show you it. So what you don't want is a footprint sticking outside the tent, because rain will hit it and go inside. It'll still only go underneath the inner, but this basically just needs to be adjusted back, which it will do around the rest of the tent. You can't see it, so you can't see it at that end. So all I need really is to adjust it to bring it further back this way. But let me show you inside. I now have the whole vestibule covered with this footprint, and it fits basically perfectly. So now I can put anything I want in here on this sort of heavy duty, so ripstop nylon, and keep it dry. I can still cook on here, I can use my table on here, I could put my backpack at the back there, and it's not going to get soaked. It's dry at the moment, but it was been pouring down with rain all day today, so the ground is wet. So this is going to protect any of my gear whilst it's outside, and I think it was £12 up at the price on the screen. I just think it's a bargain. So if you've got an X-Dome, or any other tent for that matter, and you want to get a cheap footprint, I'll put a link down below. It's an Amazon affiliate link, but it's cheap as chips. Got it the next day delivery. If you want to buy it, click on the link. So apart from my tent, which obviously I'm sitting in, you can see how much space there is in this bag. It's absolutely tons. Woolly hat, food bag, table, Thatchers, cook set, Wakeko coffee machine, and then what I was talking about earlier on with pack liners. So I often use a pack cover, but I found that two things can happen. One, water can get down between your back and still soak the bag and get the stuff inside it wet. And two, I have in the past actually managed to get a leak inside my bag when I've had a bladder inside it and it burst. So everything got absolutely soaked. Since then, I methodically do the same thing, and I have a Nyloflume pack liner, which literally weighs nothing. I'm going to take the rest of my stuff out and I'll show you. Down jacket, down quilt, sleep mat, massive bag of electrics, spare socks. I was cold last time I was on there. Thermals. I was cold last time I was on there. And a huge Trichology pillow. Right, I'm empty. So this is a Nyloflume pack liner. Now these are from Outdoor Gear Essentials, and they're huge. They fit any bag. And I put all my gear in there, scrunch down, and I just roll it over. I just fold it down behind itself. And recently I had another happening where when I finish all my food, it goes back into the rubbish bag. I then tend to roll it up, shove it inside my bag. Now when you've got things like cans of lager, noodles, stuff that's going to have water in it, liquid, there's a possibility that it could come out. And annoyingly, in the only white bag that I own, my 3FU Alcidium Pro, it somehow unravelled inside, and the spare leftover contents of the noodles leaked out all inside the bag, stained it horribly. I've cleaned it, but that would have gone all over my quilt, it would have gone over my pillow, it would have my down jacket, it would have gone over all of my stuff. But just having it inside this, which as I say, it doesn't weigh anything, works really, really well. What has surprised me about this Nyloflume pack liner is that I had my last one, I don't know, 2 years, well over a year, and it never failed. I thought this would have a limited lifespan. You know, it's thin plastic, but it's incredibly durable. And the only reason why I've got a new one, I spoke to Colin about this at Outdoor Gear Essentials, was because I was tucking stuff down inside it, and I'd had torn a nail. And as I pushed my hand in tight, I literally sliced the hole through the bag with my nail. So that's the only thing it's failed, and that was my fault. So yeah, recommend these if you haven't got one. Got a link in the description. But go on Outdoor Gear Essentials and get yourself some Nyloflume pack liners. Lifesaver. But let's face it, it would not be a novice wild camper video if I didn't have some more gear to review, in particular torches. Now I have been sent what I think is going to be my favourite head torch. I really, really like this. Now the launch isn't until Saturday 10 AM, so this video would normally go up on Friday evening, but I'm going to hold it off until Saturday now, because obviously, you know, Olight don't want everyone to know about it. But I've had this for a little while and I've been using it. I absolutely love it. So this is a new model that has come out called the Perun 3 Mini. Now it comes in its own charge case, which you don't have to bring with you, but it's very handy because, you know, when you're out and about, one, it's for storage, two, you can hopefully see on there the charge state. I don't know how much you can see of that, but basically it tells you the percentage that's in here, and it will obviously charge the torch up inside, and it goes green. Again, not sure you can see it in the light, to tell you that the actual torch itself is fully charged. But this has got a 5,000 milliamp hour battery in it, USB-C chargeable, and it's also fast charge. So it really charges up pretty quick. It's basically 3 hours to charge this, and this will charge the torch fully in 1 hour. So you could use this all evening on a dark night, stick it in here, and it will charge it overnight, or later on when you get up in the middle of the night for the usual toilet breaks. But the torch itself, absolutely tiny. Classic Olight, really good build quality, lovely and solid, and it's got some good functionality on it as well. I like the fact that it's got a belt clip. You can clip this on your hat, so you've got a downward facing light for where you're working, so you can see that on, or you can put it on a belt clip, on your backpack, so you don't have to have it on your head. I often find that, particularly if you're walking in really bad weather, rain, dark, wind, your hood will generally tend to cover any kind of a head torch that's on there. So this is quite handy. You can actually put it on your jacket, leave it outside, and it's going to beam your way in front of you. Basically with this, you have a single strap, which I like, nice grippy headband, which has got a silicone rubberized section there, so it sort of sticks to your forehead. So very simply, using the clip, you push the end of the clip in there, and then you just turn it on, push it into there, and there's a little button underneath that releases it, so you can take it back out again. And then you've got a fully adjustable head torch, as you would have normally on most head torches. So this has a 1250 lumen max, but it's got obviously moonlight mode, 3 different modes in between, and also it has, there you go, red light. I couldn't see it there. So you've got red light. Obviously I will show you all this in the dark later on, but I really like that. While it is inside this little charger, you can actually turn it on using that as well. So you could leave this sat somewhere on a table and have it facing wherever you like, and if you press and hold it, it just goes through from moonlight up to max level. Ooh, it's bright. Right, it is now pitch black, so I'm going to show you the Olight Perun 3 Mini and show you what that's like. So I'll switch it off first and start from the moonlight mode. So if you press and hold it when it's switched off, then it goes on to moonlight mode. So the camera will probably not pick this up at all. If you press and hold it, it then scrolls through to the next level, and then the next level, and then the next level. So this is on high, but it's not on turbo. And those rocks, and if you can see them over there, I think you're pointed in the right way. They're about 100 yards away, and it's lighting them up really easily, and we're not on turbo yet. It's got a very good sort of spot, but it's not a solid spot. It's got a bit of throw around it as well. If I double click it, we got turbo, which makes a bit of a difference, but nothing drastic. But to me that's quite good, because turbo is normally limited on time, so to have the high just has a decent brightness. So actually it is very good. It's a very good beam. Yeah, it's really nice. Now if I switch it off and then double click it, it goes on to red, and then you've got several different modes of red. So while it's on red, if you press and hold it, it goes brighter, and then if you hold it, it goes onto SOS. Hold it again, you've got low red, and then bright red. And this is quite a bright red actually. It's more than enough to be able to walk around. You can see the ground really easily. It has a memory function as well. So, for example, if I have it on high and then switch it off, when I turn it back on again, it goes back on to high. So whatever you've got it set at, you haven't got to worry about scrolling through different options to get to the one you wanted, which is nice. I'm very impressed with this. I like it. It's nice and small. It's light. A lot of torches, I find head torches is just overkill. Those massive ones, you've got this, the strap across the top of your head, it's just too much. For what I need it for anyway. This is plenty. Right, I'm off to bed. I'll see you guys in the morning. So the Jan 45 litre pack from 3FUL, my thoughts on it so far, really like it. It's good looking, it fits everything that I need, tons of space. I think the features on it, having 2 pockets as well, the fact that it's framed and you can adjust that frame to suit you and still only weighs 960 grams I think it was. I think for £135 with my discount code is a massive deal. As I said before, this is not a review, this is just me showing you what is new and what's come out. So I'm going to continue to use this pack for the next year or so, and I will give you updates as I go along, or if you ask, then not a problem, I'll tell you what my thoughts are on it, but I'll do a full long-term review on it at a later date. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry if you're blowing about a bit, it's quite windy up here today. Now, if you did, as always, please hit the thumbs up, and if you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you all on the next one.